Let me get to my next call. All right, Carla, who am I speaking to?
Hey Anthony, it's Ramon. What's going on? Bold like a leopard.
Hi, Ramon. What's going on?
Yeah, it's been a while. I haven't called you, and I was actually in the middle of writing somebody else's essay, so I figured I'd take a break and talk to somebody I actually respect.
All good.
So I did want to say that I was at work today listening to your dialogue with Duke Jackson,
Yeah.
and it was very interesting because I didn't think that Jackson is really. I didn't know much about his own personal views. I just knew that he was kind of moving away from liberalism or something.
Yeah.
So a lot of the things that you were saying, they parallel some dialogue that I have with this friend of mine from out of state who he has this hilarious conspiracy theory that if you pretend that you're a black conservative, it's like an amazing way to make a ton of money. And he keeps trying to convince me that he can pull it off, but the fact is that I keep seeing there's like a lot of internal fighting, and once one person gets a lot of exposure, like some of the other people start to have issues with that person. Not gonna. I mean, not gonna mention any specific names because there's plenty of examples. But
Yeah.
like, do you think that the black conservatism in and of itself is a movement, or is it just like you as an individual, you happen to have just changed your views at a certain point and you believe in conservatism?
I think it's a little bit of both because you have those of us that are really just out there publicly that you see a lot on TV and stuff like that. I think a lot of us are involved with a movement, but you have a lot of other people that kind of see what we're doing and move silently in their own. So it's not like they're not really part of a movement per se. They're just kind of like observing what we're doing, and then it just kind of like they feel more confident to be themselves. I think that's kind of what's going on. But yeah, it is kind of a movement. But at the same time, a lot of the people who watch us aren't really involved. They just do things on their own.
Well, I think like the issue that I'm seeing is that it's still enough of an exotic site right now to see people that, because like you were saying to him, it's not as if. One second, I hear myself on the YouTube. Let me just silence it. So it's not like you necessarily meet people day to day that explicitly are conservative black people. Like I actually had I went to the firing range a few weeks ago with this CCW instructor who's a black guy, and he used to be a cop, and most of his viewpoints appear to be conservative, but he actually hates Trump, which is kind of funny. So, I was just trying to get the training, so I wasn't trying to like dig too deep. But he was kind of like picking my brain because he was like, yeah, the whole thing with Charlottesville and whatever. It's like so. I think like in reality, a lot of people don't really believe in social liberalism, which is promoted by the media, the Joy Behar types or whatever, because it's kind of fallen apart. There's actually an article. I should send it to you. I think believe me, you'd really like this article by Camille Paglia. She's done like a long video with Jordan Peterson, and she's like this famous lesbian professor from the 90s who she got in trouble for claiming that Hillary Clinton might actually be a lesbian. And she just like after that she was like, well, it turns out kind of like the Clintons don't really believe in freedom of speech or anything. It's like liberals actually stab themselves in the back. So she's basically concluded that secular humanism and liberalism has completely failed society. And I don't know. I'll send it to you. It's too long to explain, but you'd probably like it. I did want to say I want to say about the Marc Lamont Hale thing.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't offended at all by him. I think he's just a clown. He's always been this idiot, and this isn't even close to being the dumbest thing he's ever said. And he belongs at CNN because CNN is a garbage network. So I don't know if you remember this, Anthony, but a few years ago there was this kid, or I think he was actually like, he might have been like 30 years old, but it was a guy from, I think, Chicago, who during the ice bucket challenge he made a pull your pants up challenge.
Yeah, I remember that.
And Lamont Hill got bent out of shape, not because he thought that it's a bad idea to pull up your pants, but he thought it was victim blaming to tell black kids to pull their pants up. And when I saw him make this argument, I was like, this has to be the most useless POS in the world. If like he gets on TV with a tie and is like, he has like those perfect teeth and whatever, and his advice is that it's victim blaming to tell people to pull their pants up. So I don't know what the hell people thought by hiring him to be on TV. I guess they thought it would be good because he gets, like, when somebody objects to what he's saying, he gets those ridiculous bug eyes. And that's what happened when he made that comment about Ray Lewis. What was it, Ray Lewis, or was it Steve Harvey? That they were mediocre N-words.
I think so, he was talking about everybody that went to the Trump Tower, like Ray, Steve, Jim Brown, the whole squad, everybody.
Well, so yeah, I made a video that, like, I think the day after, it was before he got fired, and there were actually rumors that he wasn't necessarily working at CNN because his contract had run out there anyway, but I don't know what the details are, but like, what's so funny is that he said that he has the deepest respect for Steve Harvey, and then he said what he said. And what I'm thinking, what he also went on to say, you know, if they would have brought Michael Eric Dyson or Cornel West, it would have made any sense.
Yeah, I saw that.
it's not as if Donald Trump said to Cornel West, "Don't come here." I mean, Cornel West wouldn't have gone there. Cornel West, people know what his views are. He wouldn't have gone to meet Donald Trump because he has some sort of moral crusade against him. So that it's basically like you were saying when somebody asked you the reparations question in that podcast.
Yeah.
You know, it's a hypothetical situation that would never happen. You know, Cornel West isn't going to visit Donald Trump. Neither is Michael Eric Dyson. They live in order to basically appear in front of people and pretend that they have like a lot of wisdom to share with them. But in reality, you know, they're professional intellectuals. You know, none of what they're talking about actually is meant to be applied to anybody, because if it was, and if it was successful, they wouldn't have any purpose left. So they're just basically spouting a bunch of, 5-syllable word salad in Dyson's case all the time, and people are supposed to pretend that it's real wisdom. So yeah, that's about it. I thought I'd just call in for a few minutes because I was getting tired of writing about this stuff for somebody else.
Well, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, take it easy, Anthony. I will send you the article, though. I want to hear what you say.
All right, man. I appreciate it.
Have a good night.
Same to you. All right. Shout out to my man Ramon for the call. You know, I hadn't talked to him in a long time. It was always good to hear from my man Ramon. And shout out to one of you guys on Twitter. You sent me this, or you said something to me, talking about blackfish. And that's what you right here about. So I'm going to go ahead and favorite this right quick. And I saw a tweet. I think this is from